Okay, it is time to get this old Cobra 148F GTL permanently mounted in my truck. If you watched any of my previous videos on this radio, you saw me building my own ground plane antenna using a 102-inch stainless steel wire whip mobile antenna. I actually had a lot of fun doing that. It's never been my intentions to have a base station here at this house, but I wanted to see if I could do this, and it was pretty successful. It worked pretty good, and I've already taken it down because I didn't want to have this base station, but I did want to see if I could actually make it work, and it was a success. So we're now going to move on to getting this thing mounted. I've got this little 91 S10 Tahoe pickup, and I want to get this thing permanently mounted in this. I built this console out of plywood a few years back. The radio mounts in there beautifully. The console is not finished. The finish will be the very last thing that I do to it. But we're going to mount the radio in there and mount the console in there in the truck. Antennas, I've got, of course, a 102-inch wire whip with the spring. I really don't want to use this antenna because it's so tall. My next antenna is going to be a Predator 30K that you see here. I bought this brand new a few years ago, still in the box. This is supposed to be a super good antenna, especially if you're going to run power, which I hope to eventually do. So now I need to figure out where I want to mount this thing. So I forgot to mention my first antenna that I bought for this truck. It's one of these 4-foot fiberglass deals that you buy at a truck stop. It's probably not a really good antenna, but I am going to keep this and actually put it on there and tune it up when I get a mount put on there, because if I am going to drive down the freeway with an antenna, this is the one I want because it's, you know, it's pretty small and it's going to look pretty good on there. It's got an SWR adjustment on top. The Predator 30K that you see here is really way too big to be having it mounted on the truck and just driving it around. It's quite a bit longer than the fiberglass, and this thing's pretty big and it's going to catch a lot of wind. So this is going to be strictly for being parked somewhere, say, you know, up on a mountaintop or something and trying to shoot some skip. And that's going to be true with the 102-inch stainless steel whip as well. So with that said, let's go out there and check out where we're going to mount antennas at. Okay, so when I first got this truck back in 2010, it didn't have a canopy on it. I've only had the canopy a couple of months. So my idea was to mount the antenna right here, right in the center of the cab. Because I believe you want to have an antenna mounted in the very center of the vehicle, whatever it is, to get the best usage out of the ground plane that the vehicle is going to give you, if my understanding of that is correct. So I wanted to mount it right here, but there was no way I was going to drill a hole in the top of my cab. And so I thought a magnet mount would work, but I don't like that idea. But now that I got this canopy, perfect solution. It looks to me like the center of the truck is now somewhere around here. This thing has, inside it has a frame. Here's one of them, here's two of them, and here's three. And then it has a frame on the outside. This is really thin aluminum. As you can see, there's it's going to be really hard to mount that unless I brace that up with something. So I've got an idea of how I can do that. Okay, back here we're inside the canopy looking forward, and you can see the metal framework, and it's built pretty sturdily. It's all aluminum. So everything should be grounded. This entire canopy should be grounded the way it's mounted. I need to make absolutely sure, and it probably wouldn't hurt to add some grounding straps from the frame to the bed and then from the bed to this, but I don't think it would really be necessary. But like I said, it wouldn't hurt. So I think the only way I'm going to mount this, so I'm going to have something like this piece of metal, and I have to go up here like this and actually mount like that. So that piece of metal will give it some stability. I think that's about the way I'm going to do it. I'm not sure. Gonna have to just get out here and start working on it and kind of see how a plan comes around. So the antenna is going to be mounted somewhere approximately, I think the very front of the canopy is going to be the best place, right in the middle of course, and that's going to be about the center. And then my question is, and maybe some of you guys that know more about this than I do could answer this, what about running a dual set of antennas, a co-phased, you know, one in the front and one in the back? I know there's got to be certain distance between them and all the rest. I don't really know much about that, but two predators on there. What do you guys think of that? Think that would work pretty good? Be interesting to maybe do that after I get this set up and working right. Okay, that's it for this. So stay tuned for part 2 coming up shortly.